Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to another video. Today we will be breaking down the first church out of the 7 churches. So I had part 1 on the 7 churches, and then I was going back to do part 2, but then I didn't feel very confident in the message that I brought forward. So I am deciding all of this week to go through all of the 7 churches every day, to give y'all more understanding of why they were there, what they're for, what God's purpose was in there, and just like what the church was in general. So that is why we are going to do the first church. But first, I have an announcement. Okay, I know this isn't coffee, but I always love drinking tea while I do this, so excuse me drinking my tea. It's pretty good. If y'all have not tried this passion tea before, y'all should totally go get some, because y'all are missing out on some good stuff. Okay, gotta put that right there as well. Camera. Also, I made some breakfast tacos with, I put ranch in them, but it has eggs, bacon, potatoes, and ranch, and I cooked the little tortillas. They're really good. So let's get on topic. So the song of the day is, drumroll please, So Will I by, I think it's 10,000. Here, we'll see. Play So Will I.
Billion X by Hillsong United. Amazon Music is streaming on another device. Would you like...
We'll just listen to a little bit of it, but this is one of my favorite songs. I'll tell you why in just a second. Someone just rode past.
God of creation, there at the start, before the beginning of time. And if the stars were made to worship so light, I can see your heart in everything you made. Galaxies are born in the vapor of your breath, the planets form.
This is my favorite part.
And if the stars were made to worship so light.
So I love that song because it just shows that the stars worship God. They do what he says. They just like the rocks cry out. You know, it makes you feel so empty but so filled at the same time. I love that song. If y'all want to go check it out, it is by Hillsong United and it is called So Will I. And it just shows that you can worship God too. If something that God made can worship him and we are made by God, then we should be able to worship him too. Okay, with that said, we are going to get on with this Bible study. I said that country accent. Okay, that was weird. So today we are doing the Church of Ephesus. That is the first one in the 7 churches of Asia. So there are 7 churches, and this is the first one out of 7 that were in Asia. So I have my Bible, and I have my whole thing. Most of my information actually came from my mom because she also has done a Bible study on this. So thank you, Mom. Let's do this thing. So first of all, Ephesus. Like I said, it is one of the 7 churches that are in Asia. Asia was, I think it's like Palestine. I'm not very sure of where it is now, but it is over by Israel, I think. Yeah, pretty sure. Close to it. That's where Jesus was. And then, so there, you know Saul, right? Saul was the guy who persecuted Christians, and he was the guy who is known as murdering Christians for their faith, and he was just so against them, which is so sad. But then on Where was he going? He's going to a town that I can't remember the name of, and God stopped him and he blinded him, and he's like, Saul, why are you doing this, man? You need to turn from your sin. So after that, he became a missionary, he became a Christian, and so now he's a missionary with the Church of Ephesus. And so he goes and he tells about Jesus' love, about the laws, laying down the law, all that good stuff. And so, Paul is our apostle. Apostle, if you remember, in the beginning of this Bible study, not like this video, but like when I started the Bible study, Paul was an apostle. An apostle is a disciple it was a disciple of Christ. So, Ephesus, what is Ephesus? So Ephesus is an ancient city in Asia Minor, and so it was also a famous temple. I have some weird pronunciations. Temple of Artemis. And so now we are going to get into the verses. So we'll start at 2 and 3. The first verse is about just like explaining how the message got to like who it was from and who it was going to. So we'll start in verse 2, and it says, I know, and this is Revelation 2, 2. I know your works, your toil and your patience, endurance, and how you cannot bear those who are evil, but have tested those who call themselves apostles and are not, found them to be false. So the Church of Ephesus was very, they had a guideline, like they went by all the rules and they obeyed them, and they respected everything that God told them to do. And I think that was pretty cool. Like, not everybody can do that. So, need to get more lighting. Hey guys, so I actually went and ate lunch, so we're going to pick up right where we left off. Sorry, Mom called and I was like, okay, I gotta go. So, we just read verse 2. I'm sorry if the lighting's bad. I'm still working on it, guys. Get back on track. So in verses 2, and I think we went through 3, God was explaining that Ephesus was a place where people just kept the law and they were held to a standard and they met that standard. But every church has a fall or a issue or a problem or something. So we're going to get to that. So if you'll keep reading with me. And chapter 4, but I have this against you, that you have abandoned the love you had at first. So that was their problem. They abandoned the love. They obeyed God, and they went to that standard that God put for them, but they did it because they had to. They didn't do it out of love and consideration for God or other people. And so, verse 5, remember therefore from where you have fallen, repent and do the works you did at first. If not, I will come to you and remove your lampstand from its place unless you repent. Yet this you hate the work of the Nicolaitans, which I also hate, so apparently hates the Nicolaitans or whoever they are. I can't pronounce things very well. Okay, verse 7, I keep saying chapter. Verse 7, he who has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says to the churches. To the one who conquers, I will grant to eat of the tree of life, which is in the paradise of God. Okay, so that is the end of that's the summary of Ephesus. So Ephesus had its perks, but it also had its falls. And Paul was a great apostle and great missionary. He stood trials and tribulations, and he got beaten for what he did. He got stoned for what he did. He got put in jail for what he did, for believing what he did. And I think that takes great courage to live up to God's standard, and also to be persecuted for what you believe. I feel like I love the people who do that, who say, yeah, I will be hanged for Christ. Or that was like in the later days, no one gets hanged anymore, hung anymore. And so I think that's really cool, just reading about people with just like so much courage. So I think that's very cool. Thank you guys so much for watching. If y'all liked it, give it a big thumbs up, and comment down below if you have any prayer requests. I would love to pray over you and tell you I love you, and have a great day. And I'll see y'all tomorrow for here, let me look at it real quick. I should know this actually. I think it's the Church of Smyrna, something like that. I'll look it up and get a Google Translate of what it says. But I'll see y'all tomorrow for the next Bible study. Bye, guys.